from BigQuest.
Another intuitive guidance or medical intuitive guidance Monday nights.
Monday night.
How is everyone?
2020. Yes, how is everyone?
Welcome to the future viewers.
Yep, still in lockdown. This joyous time that we have. So yes, the usual rant, I suppose, is we're here to help guide, not to dictate, not to tell you what to do,
not to have power over you,
not to have any power over you. So we need you guys to ask your questions and be specific, so that when you be specific and tell us all the details of what you think it is, then that kind of gives us permission to work with it, and then give you another interpretation of what it might be. So, but if we just start telling you random stuff that you're not aware of, that's against the law of free will.
So I'll give you some examples of questions that we typically don't answer.
Have you got a card for me?
Do you have a message for me? Can you pick a card for me?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what's happening in my love life? Can you tell me what's happening in my business?
Yes. Am I going to be successful? Am I going to be this, or am I going to be that?
Yep. And a heads up, if you ask a question about someone else, be prepared
to get turned on
for the bounce back, that we're going to turn it back on you.
Yes. That's the other part of the free will. Hi, Gabby. How you going? So again, be specific and tell us the details. Tell us your interpretation of what's going on. If it's a physical ailment as opposed to a situation in your life. Hi, Rosemary.
Hey, Rosemary.
Just tell us what you think it is. Tell us, if it's a physical ailment, it's on the right side at the front and it feels like this. And, get as specific as you can of how you would describe it. Even if it sounds random, it feels like a stabbing pain.
It feels like I have a hook in my nose.
Feels like I've got a drill in my ear.
Or a drill in my head, or a hot iron through my ear.
Yes.
Whatever it feels like, that's what we want to know. Yeah. Those descriptive words are what we want to know.
And same with if it's other external situations, tell us how you feel about it. The feelings and that will guide us to what the message is, right? So nearly everything, if not everything, is a message from our soul, from our higher self, from whatever you want to call it, the universe. And this is one way of interpreting it. And so if we help you interpret it, but you've got to want the message. So that your description, the more descriptive you get about it, because it's a message for you to change something. And if you do change something, it often change what it means on a emotional level or what it means on a mental level, change your attitude, so to speak. It often clears the ailment, sometimes very miraculously.
Yeah.
We've got a few people on here that come on regularly. I've already said so. Hi, Candace, Rose, Jamie, Jody, Trees, Michelle.
Hey, guys.
Hi, guys. So,
Rose and Jamie, we typically don't answer questions that I would say as vague as that. We like to, as we were sort of saying, which you may have missed in the intro, we like to know the meat and the detail behind that question, I guess, is what
we want to know your emotions and feelings about it, why you're asking the question, what it feels like, what you're actually really asking for. Because, did I miss a bullet? Every answer has a yes or no. Basically, it's like, for what reason? Did you miss a bullet? Yeah, but you might have walked into another one.
There could be a million reasons why we get a yes for you missed a bullet. So it's kind of like, why are you asking that question? What's behind that question? And what are you concerned about?
We're using so you can say something like, it feels like I missed a bullet, but I'm not sure. It feels like, I've got a better opportunity coming up and it was a wise thing to do. Something like that. We want to get into your feelings, and then we can use ours to confirm that without encroaching and having power over, because we're not meant to have power over. There's free will. And if we tell you stuff that, that you're not already at the level to be aware of, that's an encroachment on the law. So,
okay, Alexandra, I should say. Hey guys, my back is continuing to play up, especially when I have stress. It is lower back L4, L5. The pain is so bad I can't walk. It's like a burning ache.
Okay. All right, so Alexandra, the L5S1, that was my old one, sorry. The L4, L5 is around about the navel chakra area. So this is the emotions, the inner child or the soul trying to get you to listen and follow your feelings. So if you will notice and listen to it and go, okay, this is me not listening to my feelings, not listening to my inner guidance, not listening to my intuition or my soul. So when it comes up, you'll notice that just before it, you've had a thought of something you want to do. Maybe You know, I remember one particular one. I was walking down the local street, and I was like, "Oh, I want to go and walk on the beach." And I'm like, "Oh, no, it's a bit wet, and my feet will get like sandy." And then I got to put my shoes back on, and it's like, and it went straight away. That, I mean, it can be as simple as that. You're just not following. But things like, you know, you want to have a day off, or you don't want to do this. It's really, this is where our soul connects with us, and this is where our intuition speaks the most, down there. So you're blocking that, and L4 S1 is in the navel chakra. So the reason you're doing it usually, or the reason we're doing it, everyone, supplies to all of us, is that's where also in the navel chakra, that's our one-on-one relationships. So I can't do this because my boss will get, you know, I can't do this because my husband will fucking get upset, or my kids, all these things, you know, this is their one-on-one relationship. And so we're giving our power away to someone else, or we're giving our power away to can't do it because of the relationship we've had with someone else. You know, I don't want to do that because in my last relationship, it pissed my husband off every time. You know, it's like, so we stop ourselves and block ourselves. So it's really, and therefore you're not being supported, right? This is, we go to the basics, that's feeling not supported, but it's, you're not allowing yourself to be supported from the inside by your intuition and following your guidance through your intuition. And the pain is so bad you can't walk. So, you know, does it radiate down one leg or the other? So like mine used to cause sciatica, and the sciatica was, you know, if it's on the right side, it's, you know, you're not following your physical material path, what you need to do in the physical world. If it's on the left side, you're not following your spiritual
and if
path.
it's something that you're not following, like flip the positive of the burning ache. Like I know when I'm like, when I have a fuck yeah thing that I want to do and I don't get to do it, and I have that burning ache to go out and do it, right? That real fucking desire to go out and do it, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is a big one, guys. You know, often money, you know, because that'll hit down the base chakra as well. So money fears will kick into that. I can't have a day off because I can't lose the money. All sorts of things like that. This is all the little things that we stop ourselves from following our gut, following our intuition. And it causes a lot of blockage and a lot of pain there. There is also the Dantian, which is about connecting to the earth. And a little bit above that is the core star, which could be something more of that, but that's something we'd have to go into a lot deeper with you. This is just general stuff, guys. And remember, we don't answer anything big here because, first of all, it's you know, it's against my principles to do that, because you can cause more damage than good if you don't understand the person you're dealing with, because these are so variable, and that's why we give them to you. And this is why number one is, does it feel light? When we say this, when you ask that, so when you ask, is this me not following my feelings, the pain will get less. It'll lighten up a little bit. Not completely, not necessarily completely go. Sometimes it'll completely go away, but usually it'll just get a bit less. Okay, so, okay, thank you, soul, thank you, gut, whatever. I'll try and listen more, even if you can't interpret it. So, yep, this is my feelings trying to tell me to do something. That will decrease the pain, if not take it away. And even if you can't interpret it, even if whatever you thought skipped by your brain that quickly, because these feelings and thoughts and emotions fly through really quickly. It's really hard to pick them up at first, what we just stopped ourselves from doing.
And you know, when you start working with the body like that, and you're able to identify something, you can actually physically feel that pain lift, right?
Yeah.
You know, that builds the belief.
Yeah.
You know, and so, you know, you do it a second time, builds more belief, build it a third time. And sometimes when, as John said, sometimes the thought and the emotion you can't really read.
Yeah.
But you get that feeling again. Right. And because you've done it 2 or 3 times, you've built that belief up to go, okay, I've just missed something, that I'm not following my feelings.
And that's what all this stuff is, guys. This is about building the belief. Don't believe anything we say, don't believe anything anyone says, because it doesn't work if you just believe it for us. You've got to work out how to believe it for yourself, how to, what we call, get genuine with it.
Yeah.
So you've got to work out a way, is that, and this is why we say, make it questions. Is that, could that be, I wonder, what if, you know, make words like that. So Vanessa, you've had a cough that's been hanging around for months. Where's my son? I'll get him one. So there's varying things in it, but because it's been hanging around for months, one of the bigger things is you're not being your own authority. You know, the cough's trying to tell you, because it's coming from here in the chest, and it's relating to the heart chakra as well as the lungs. So there can be a bit of grief. There can be a little bit of, but the main message of it is, when it's been like that and hanging around for months, you are not being, you're giving your authority away to other people or to other things. So it's like, so who are you being subconsciously subservient to? You know, sort of, you're not doing what you want to do. You're bowing down. You're giving your power away, is one way of saying it, to other people or other situations, or many people in many situations. So it's like, as you cough, go, okay, I need to, is that a message from my body saying that I need to take charge more, and I need to start listening to me and stop listening to the outside as much. Because it could be other people, it could be situations, it could be money, it could be all sorts of things that you're giving your power away to. But that's the general one of it. The other thing, if it is more lungs, if there's phlegm and, if you're smoking and stuff like that, there's a lot of grief there that's stored in the lungs. That's where we store grief. And so, we don't want to let that grief go. If we stop smoking or whatever we do, often that grief will start coming off and it will cry and that for no reason. Well, what appears to be no reason, because the grief's so old, we can't really remember what it was. Yeah. So that's another thing about being around authority, is not stopping and allowing these natural processes to happen, allow the body to purge the emotions. So,
okay. Danielle, I've had intense headaches with a stinging pain in my brain. Know it well. It started with a feeling like my neck was out at the top of my spine.
Yeah. Okay. So this is throat chakra. This is about communication. It's the blue rave, the throat chakra. So
balance is what I get.
Yeah. So it's like, there's the messages coming through from the crown, from the upper self, are not getting down through the throat, getting down to the body. There's a simple way to do it, but that's really oversimplifying.
I'm getting a picture of a spinning top.
Yeah.
Like everything's just spinning around.
Yeah. So you're getting the guidance, you're getting the information that comes in through the crown. You're digesting it through the third eye, through the vision. Then it gets to hear the power center of the throat, the communication, and you're not letting it go down further to direct the body, to direct the soul. It's got to come down further. So you get it. Try pulling the energy down into the body. Just say, can I pull it down? Can I let it go down? Can I clear it? And just see if it'll pull down to the heart or to the soul, into the navel chakra, into the soul star, or down into the soul area. We call the bottom three chakras the soul area. So do I need to pull it down there? Is it trying to get a message? The message is the communication, but it seems like communication to you, not to the outside world. That's where it's getting, and that's where your head's feeling like detached, because it'll probably be more on one side. If you work out which way the tilt was, it'll give you an indication whether the message is more spiritual or female or male or physical.
Okay, going back to Jamie's question, if I still got it. Did I miss a bullet not getting the last job I went for? She's come back saying, because I was sabotaged by someone on the panel.
Yeah, look, it feels like a yes, but it's not a clear yes. So the sabotage by someone on the panel. Yeah, you missed a bullet, not by not getting the job. You missed a bullet by not working with those people. Not so much the job. There's someone on the panel. If they didn't sabotage you then, it would have taken its toll on you after a while.
Sabotage really jumps out.
Yeah, so the sabotage would happen, and you would have ended up sabotaging yourself after a while, not necessarily straight away, but after a while on the job, because you would have been around the wrong type of people and their energy, and that would have affected you. So, and also the benefit, you can really make this into a really huge win for yourself if you can get your inner self, your soul, and your real self to forgive that person straight away. Get to forgiveness and go, okay, I need to forgive them so I can move on. I need to forgive them so it doesn't build up in me. Otherwise, this can cause more. So if you let emotions build up of resentment or anything towards that person, that's going to cause you long-term problems as well. Won't cause you problems for a while, but in months or years, if you have that resentment or that anger or whatever towards that person, this is what we're trying to undo with everyone. This is where a lot of our problems is. We can clear our mind. We can do, like, I can talk to your head all day long, and there's a million people out there, and this is what the Western world does. We have got this shit sorted out up here, guys, right? There's nothing else we can fucking explain to our heads. Sure. But our hearts and our guts, this is our feelings and our emotions. They're the ones we need to clear. And the emotions like that, if you get resentment build up and you don't forgive the person, and you come to oneness and forgive them, not because of them, forgive them because you want a better world. Don't have the forgiveness hardly anything to do with it. You want to be a better person and you want a better world. So that means we have to forgive. Yeah. And we have to forgive ourselves if we did get angry with them, if we did get resentful.
And the looking at the positive of that, right? John and I talk about this a lot. Spirit takes you places one by one, right? Step by step by step, Yeah. And so see this as an opportunity. Right. Yeah. See, this is going from point A to point B. Yeah. Right. And then from wherever point B lands, you might go to point C, or point B might be what Spirit was trying to get you to go to.
Yeah, that's it. So often we get direct guidance, and it'll be specific. It'll tell us times and dates and everything. and we get there like Melbourne here,
Yeah.
and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen that way, I should say. And, you know, we get questioned that and go, oh, I didn't get the right guidance or whatever. But when we question, they just go, well, they know you, your higher self, your spirit guides, whatever you want to call
Knows
them.
you better than you do.
They know you better than you do, and they know how stubborn you are, and they know you won't go from here to there without some sort of incentive.
Yeah.
So they'll give you a false incentive to get you from A to B, but it's not to get to B; it's actually to get to C.
Yeah.
So, you know, just look at, you can't look at individuals if it was good. You know, good luck, bad luck. You don't know the whole story. Even the worst things turn into good things.
This kind of ties into Michelle's comment in the message I was getting. Michelle earlier said that she feels deflated. Should I stay or should I go? Something that I've been unraveling with myself is absolutes, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of one or the other, right? And so, you know, what if there's a third option?
Yeah.
Right. And so back to Jamie, you know, perhaps spirit can only get you to A because you just locked in on that one thing.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't allow the room for other possibilities.
And you didn't know what you wanted. So, you know, when you had that, you asked for that job, but you didn't ask for a job with nice people in it, right? So you might have got what you wanted.
Or a job where there's no saboteurs.
Where there's no saboteurs. There are places full of saboteurs and, you know, backstabbers.
Yeah.
So maybe ask for a job that's like that with win-win type people in there, with people who are not competitive, who are co-creative. And so, you know, sometimes it's just for us to refine our questions. Yeah, and so what John was saying before about, you know, should I stay or should I go is not the question. It's like, what do you want to do? You're deflated, so what do you want to do? You do that internally first.
Yeah.
So do what you think you're going to do when you go. Whatever you're going to do or be or how you're going to be, your attitude, whatever, start doing that now in this situation, and then let the situation. So if it's a relationship, and I did this in my marriage, and I said, okay, so I started acting and doing what I would do what I imagined I'd do if I was separated, right? And for a little while, it actually made the relationship go better. And I thought, oh, well, good. You know, it's like, then all of a sudden out of the blue, it just went different ways because our paths were going in different ways. But I didn't have to decide anymore. The situation turned up to decide. Kind of shocked me at the time. Sure, it shocked my ex-wife too. God bless. But you know, it's sort of, if you become that what you want, think about where you want to go, or think about why you want to go there and what you're going to be. Start acting like that now. That's what your message is. This is for everyone, guys.
Yeah.
If you want to go, start being that person before you go. Because if you don't, and you do get a better job, better house, whatever, then you're going to have to do all that work when you get there, and you're going to have to undo all that old shit.
It's kind of like carrying invisible baggage around, right?
It's like carrying all your furniture to a new house, and then you got to throw it all out and dump it and take it to the tip. It's like, you know, it's like change it now. Think of the person you want to be in that, and start adjusting that. Start rewiring on that one. Okay, what do we got?
Kerry, I get a pain in my my left thigh. When I lie down, I'm pain tolerant, but it's extreme. I cannot tell whether it's muscle or bone. It can be in any part of the top left part of my leg. It was previously on my right.
Yes.
Yes,
one of these ones.
Indeed.
So this is messages from the soul that can get quite deep here.
These are cool. These are cool ones.
These are cool ones. Now we're going to step out on a limb, guys, and we're going to start talking about past lives here. So this is...
Brace yourself.
This is a message from the soul, and it's about past lives, past life attitudes. So the soul, which again, we communicate with the soul through our guts, guys. The soul is everywhere, but we communicate through the gut. We think about it around about the navel area. When we're questioning and talking with our soul through our intuition, is that you, soul? Is this a message? Is there something here in a past life that I need to let go of, that I need to forgive, or that I need to be forgiven for? It's definitely, and because it jumped from the left to the right.
From the left to the right.
This is an indication that it's a soul pattern. Yeah. It's not necessarily not to do with this life. So you said it's bone and muscle. So we've got resentment and we've got guilt. Right? We've got both of them, and I'm guessing it's in the front of the thigh. So the resentment and the guilt is stopping you from moving forward, but this is a soul pattern. So you've had this same issue, not just in this life, in many lives. And so you can ask the question, is this a soul thing? Can I now see it and let it go and forgive it and move on from it? And so sometimes it's as simple as that, and you'll get it, and you'll get it all intuitively. you just kind of get what we call a hit, and you go, you get the knowing, but you have got no idea what you just got, and that will lift it. And so when it comes in, and so it's but the emotion, the guilt, and the resentment is not just from this life. You got it from a life, and it's your two legs. So it was the right before, so it was your physical direction before. Now it's your spiritual direction, and because it's the upper legs, it's the closer part to you. It's sort of the, it's not the head, it's the sort of more immediate spiritual direction. So it's the really sort of the core stuff of it. Okay. That'd be a good one to do a private one on that one, because it'd be interesting to see which past lives it relates to. And because that one has got that, I'm laughing because it's my right leg was doing it the other night. I've been working with it for about a week on the same thing. So that's why I kind of got a hit straight away on that.
What's about varicose veins?
The
varicose veins in my left leg. This is for Amber. Varicose vein in my left leg is really bad at the moment. Yeah, so
it's so I'm guessing it's on the inner thigh, which it is for most people. The varicose veins, it's pressurizing yourself. It's pushing yourself too hard. There's too much pressure there. And if it's on the inner part of the thigh, it's going to be on the kidney meridian. So you've got a lot of fear and stuff from the kidney and bladder meridian. And you're pushing yourself. You're pushing yourself on a spiritual or on a personal level, because I'm guessing it's female. So it's like that area, that meridian's got to come up to the body. So stop pushing yourself so hard on the inside. Stop. It's kind of like receive what you need instead of try and going after it.
Yeah.
And again, this is quite a hard one because it can relate to so many different things, guys. So this is really general. Like a reading like this, I would work with someone for up to half an hour. So, and I'd explore all the different things, because that's it. Generally, it's pushing yourself. But what are you pushing yourself with? And it's spiritual or it's female. But, if a lot of guys on here are intuitive enough, and that's enough, and they can get the hit on it themselves, and they'll sort of really move forward quickly.
So Alexandra's come back saying thank you. She separated, this is the L4, L5, right? So I'm separated from my husband, everything's up in the air, and I feel like I can't voice my opinion without being shut down.
Yeah.
Because it's on the back, this could be related to how she'd done that in the past. She's sort of, judging herself.
But it's the lower core part too.
Yeah.
So it's her past issues, or whether it's the back. But it's really, she's not feeling supported, and she can't voice her own opinion. But it's not about voicing your own opinion. It's about being your own opinion. It's about doing your own opinion. If you voice it, what are you going to voice it for? It's going to fall on deaf ears, right? Don't bring pearls to swine. These are not pearls, but don't bring pearls. Why are you going to tell somebody who's not going to listen? You're wasting your time. You're encroaching on free will. What you need to do is act your opinions for you. You need to put your opinions into practice and go, not my problem, not my, I'll do me, you do you. And again, don't say any of this. Don't freaking bother, guys. We're dealing with somebody who's not going to listen. That's our fault. That's our problem. We're trying to force our point of view. I don't give a shit if it's right or wrong. I don't give a shit if it's true or not. You're forcing it on someone else. That's against free will. And we suffer for that. I'm experienced. I'm not excluding myself from this, guys. This is why I know that one so well. I had all the right information, but I was wrong most of the time because I was pushing it on other people that didn't want to hear it. So you just go, yeah, okay. You're right, I'm wrong. And then you just go and do what you want to do.
Okay, Belinda. Why am I struggling to stay on track with my health and motivation to keep going consistently to achieve my health goals? I've always struggled, and I always fall backwards, no matter how strong my intentions are.
Over to you, Mr. Absolutes.
Fuck you. All right. So, firstly, I always, right?
Yeah.
It's creating filters.
Yeah, you've got a lot of always there.
So I've always struggled. Okay, yeah. I've always struggled as a generic throw out there. That's going to affect a lot of fucking things in your life. Right?
Yeah,
I've always struggled.
Yeah, these are what we call filters. Yeah. They create filters in the subconscious, guys. Yeah, definite words, absolute words. They create filters. Yeah. So even if you see this, you always. I bet you don't. Yeah, I bet there's times, and you know this. You're only saying it more to emphasize it. Yeah, but when you say that, you're not allowing yourself. So you say most of the time. Or it seems like. Change those words, guys. This is so important. Everybody, Change the words so it looks like, it seems like. I usually do. Most of the time I do. And that'll start to change it. And the bigger one, the bigger part is, who the fuck is telling who about their health track?
Yeah.
You, the head,
Yeah.
the intellect, is telling the body, which relates to the emotion, which
Yeah.
relates to the soul.
Yeah.
Of course you can't keep on track. Your soul's fucking rebellious as a motherfucker. It's not going to listen to you. You're the one that needs to listen to it
Yeah.
for your health.
Yeah.
It's like you need to listen to the feelings. You've got, it sounds like, and I can feel it, you've got these definites. I've got to have 3 pieces of corn and 2 pieces of this, and I've got to have this, and I've got to have this. That is not health. That's dictatorship.
Yeah.
And your body and your soul will not listen to it whatsoever. It is not, and I'm not saying go the other way like some people do and just follow their feelings all the time. But sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is fucking sit in bed and have a fucking big block of chocolate if that's what the body wants, right? And so the rules will not work for health. And I've seen and I have known some of the best naturopath, homeopath. This guy was the world renowned, and he was the freaking sickest person I ever met because it was exactly like that. He had all these rules. None of it was intuitive. None of it followed the flow. None of it really, truly, through an intuitive listen to the body. Sometimes we need, KFC can be the healthiest thing for you if the body wants it and it could want it for a whole week and then not touch it again for another year. It's like, if we listen to the body, if we start and transition that. So I'm not saying throw all the rules out, but lighten the fuck up,
Yeah. We're the 3-4 flame path that we teach, right? So thoughts, feelings, and emotions, right? Imagine that there are three parts or 3 minds in your body. Yeah. One of those minds, your thought mind, is telling the other 2 what to do all the time. Right. And then when your feelings are like, I love this, but actually today I just want to have a day off. The thoughts are going, oh, you fucking should be doing this. You said, you promised, you made this. That's what's going on.
And by the way, Belinda, I'm usually not that harsh. Yeah. I was channeling your soul just then, and that's what your soul was saying. Light the fuck up, bitch. It's like, it is you. Your soul is you, but it's one aspect of you, and it's saying listen as much. You've got to have some sort of general guidelines and stuff like that, but you've also got to listen and be a little bit more flexible and stuff like that. Your soul's not happy with all these rules and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Righty. Grant. Hey, Grant. Recently been getting an almost constant urge to be stretching my right leg, and I've been getting some pulsing pain in my right shoulder. Stretching my right leg.
Yeah, so symbolically that means you've got to stretch. You need a bit of stretching on your physical direction, your material direction. So what you're doing in the physical world, say for job, house, money, all the basic physical material things you're doing. Could be as simple as sport, could be exercise, something like that. But it's time to stretch you might have that part of your life pretty sorted out, but you need to start stretching it and doing other things. It's the legs trying to go, okay, it's time to sort of broaden our horizons in this material, physical direction. And
the pulsing pain in the right shoulder?
Pulsing pain in the right shoulder is going to relate to the same thing. The pulsing pain, the information that we get from spirit, from whatever you want to call it, comes down through the crown, and then it's supposed to go all the way down and filter down through the chakras to give us messages. The pulsing is, again, you're pushing it on the right shoulder, so you're not letting the information going through. The pulsing is the muscles, so there'll be a little bit of guilt here from some of the pulsing. But it's like you're trying too hard. You're trying to force the direction and trying to guide too much. And I don't say don't guide at all, guys. This is about balance. It's like just lighten back on the guidance and listen and guide and stretch. And it's just a real basic message from the body. So it's your right side. It's about you because you're male. So it's about stretching your direction in life, where you're going, stretching the way you're seeing it. Like so, it's like pushing your limitations out. So,
stretch goals.
Yeah.
That's what come to mind. All right, Cherie. Hi, guys. I've been getting a bit of angina lately. Is there something wrong with my heart I should know about?
Okay. Well,
where do I begin?
Where do I begin? Another one of my favorites. There is something wrong with your heart, but not your physical heart.
Yeah.
This is the heart chakra. So what we discovered the other day is our self-judgments, guys. Guess where most of them load up? They load up in our heart chakra. So when we're hard on ourselves, when we judge ourselves, when we blame ourselves from so many things, 20 years or 30 years of judging and blaming yourself, it builds up in the heart chakra, and the heart chakra gets really clogged up and doesn't. So it's like, it's starting to release some of those judgments, some of those self-judgments, some of those, and all the judgments of other people that we take on and try it. We don't believe we take them on. We take them on by resisting them.
You walk past someone and you think that they've just judged you, and then you judge them, and then you judge yourself for judging them.
So the heart gets clogged up, and the angina or whatever is the message from the heart saying it's time to start listening to the heart, start flowing from the heart more. The heart is supposed to be in charge. This is in our threefold flame. The heart is representing of the masculine, of the lion in the lion, lamb, and the peace dove, if you're Christian. And the heart is the masculine, the upper three chakras, the crown, the third eye, and the throat is the divine feminine. It's the peace dove. It's the wisdom. It can fly and tell. So it can generally guide. The lion needs to be the one in charge, like the male in the relationship, and the female is the one that can sort of guide the whole family and say where we need to go, where to be safer. And then the soul or the inner child, the lower three chakras, is the lamb, and that's the one that we need to be playful. That's the love. So we've got love in the lower three, we've got power in the heart, and we've got wisdom in the upper three. And they're all actually supposed to combine in the sacred heart of the holy heart. So, you've got a build up of stuff in your heart and in your heart chakra. Sorry, be careful when we say this, guys. Heart chakra, not your heart, because we can cause problems just by saying it to our heart. There's a lot of judgments and a lot of that. Then it's time to throw them out. Self-judgments and the judgments you bought from other people by resisting them. Say, look, check in with yourself. Do I really care? Is that really my opinion? When I judge myself, if I judge myself because I drank too much I was a pisshead for a year or two, It's like, did I really care in the long run? It wasn't necessarily great at that moment, but no, I don't know if that affected my spiritual direction or my fucking my reputation in the world. So I don't really care about that. So I've got to start deleting those judgments and then listen to your heart. The angina that's the heart tightening going, you better fucking listen. I'll fucking stop you. Again. This is the soul. This is the inner being, guys. And it really gets to that point where it's like, stop fucking judging. You judge yourself and then stop resisting other people's judgments. It's like if you resist them, you buy into them. Yeah. And then that's why we judge them back. We don't mean to, but we get so overloaded with judgments that then we have to judge back because we've got no more space to put another judgment in.
And when you start working with that, right, with that angina, and you start to recognize, right, where you're doing that, it can feel like it goes a little bit crazy just for that split second or two, right, before it settles back down again.
Yeah.
So don't freak out if it sort of just does that.
Yeah. So and when it's releasing, like when I did mine the other night, the sternum bone was like fucking as I had a lot of judgments there, and they're all of myself, right? But that's just as bad. I'm not trying to get up on that one. Judge myself, judge other people. I'm in oneness, so if I judge myself, I judge everyone. Caught that one. So we're in oneness. I can't judge myself without judging everyone else. So, but as we release it did, like my sternum bone felt like I'd had a knuckle massage in there, and it was really sore for about half an hour to an hour. So when we're releasing this stuff, guys, it can, for a little bit, if we're releasing a lot of old emotions and judgments and everything else, it can actually get quite sore, like amazingly sore, considering I didn't even touch it. Like this was just clearing it by talking to it. So, yeah. And, so that it can, when you hit the note, it can get a little bit worse for a moment. It's what we call the healing crisis.
Okay. Florin, pain above my left eye twitching a lot. I see flash like turning on a fluoro light. I've noticed it happens more around certain people.
Yeah. So this is the pain above the left eye and the eye twitching. The eye twitching, it's the message, right? So you're resisting the message, you're resisting what you're seeing. So it's a left eye. So that's what you're seeing spiritually in people. So somewhere, and because when I say seeing it, you see it, but you don't necessarily know. This goes beyond the logical mind. It goes to our inner knowing, our deep mind. And the flashes are actually shit that's leaving. So, you're obviously quite a powerful healer. You come from the green ray. I'm taking it because that's what happens when we come near them. It blows the shit out. It blows their judgments out. So those flashes are fucking shit that's running away from you. And it's running away from you. But then the pain and the twitching is you're in a denial that you actually see that or you know that. You don't know what it is. Yeah. You know something.
But you had a part in that.
You know. But you don't know what it is, And so start acknowledging, okay, that's something I know. That's something I'm avoiding seeing, because your left eye being more spiritual than that. And the twitching is like, hey, pay attention to that. That's something you see. Yes, that person is something that you just have an awareness of.
Yeah.
But the flashing is because obviously, you've got a psychic or healing ability. That flashing is actually clearing it out for them automatically, or clearing it out of you. Either way. So that's a fun one. We've been playing with that one for a little bit now. So there's another varicose vein thing back up there. Lauren, we covered this before. Generally speaking, the varicose vein, it's a right leg. So you're pushing yourself too hard in your physical direction, or with a male, so with a partner or a child, male child or partner. And just, the varicose vein it's the pressure on yourself. And it's like, you got to lift up, be lighter.
Yeah. You're giving yourself grief.
It's a real overgroundedness as well. And that's where the pressure comes from. You're pushing yourself too hard. The meridian, the kidney meridian that runs up there, it's supposed to run upwards to the chest, right? So the energy needs to come up, and that's kind of the clash between forcing yourself and over pushing yourself. And again, this is like, these ones are quite technical, guys, because that's very general, and we'd have to work with you for a little bit and talk and find some other things to find out specifically what it deals with, what you're pressurizing yourself with, and that we could help. But a lot of you are intuitive enough on here, so that's enough information.
Salute. Left side of the throat. Left gum is pressing on my ear. My left ear is at the feminine side. I seem to have stopped my manifestations to the person I want in my life. Are the two connected? I kind of got anger.
Is that male or female?
Male.
Okay, so the left side is generally the jaw has got to do with anger. So the muscles, especially up here, you see them tighten in people when they get this. So the anger that's often stored in the kidney and the liver and gallbladder, it also shows up in the jaw here, and it stops us from expressing ourselves, it stops us from saying what we want, or it's trying to stop us from too much saying what we want if it's the other way around. Yeah. And because it's the left side, it's blocking your ear, so you're not listening to the message. You're not listening. So it is the feminine side as well as the spiritual side. So it could be a spiritual message or a feminine, but because you're talking about your partner, you're not listening to the message. Often, if it's blocking our ears, a lot of stuff when I get a message that I've been refusing to listen to, my fucking ear opens up. It's like a fucking freight train, like a foghorn or something in there at times when it first opens up. It's like, all right, I'll take that message. And so the lockjaw will actually push it onto there. Yeah. So you're getting angry and you're trying to manifest. That's not free will. Maybe she's not the right one, because it's not necessarily. This is the problem with manifesting, guys. If we manifest and we push it onto someone else, you might as well be a dictator. Like, I'm going extreme here, but you're a dictator when you do that. You're not actually. We're not supposed to infringe on each other's free will, even if it's good for them, even if it's the right thing. You can't. We're not supposed to do that. And so the message is probably telling you that she is not the one, and
if and if it's spiritual, it could be that you're getting angry, right, at your spiritual side.
Getting angry at the message.
Because it's stop. I seem to have stopped my manifestation. I seem to have stopped my. Maybe it's not stopped. Maybe it's just wait.
Yeah, and so it's like the message is, whatever we want on the outside, guys, we've got to fix it in us. So whatever you're pursuing in this person, whatever we're pursuing, anything outside, especially when it comes to partners, what do we want? What do we like in them? Get it in you first. If they've got a better attitude, if they're more confident, if they're, more grounded, more balanced, get that balance in you first and try and get that in you as much as possible. And then often you'll find that person you're attracted to, you don't want them at all. Yeah. It's, we're attracted to people because they've usually got the opposite, or they got something that we want. This is when we're in the lower realm, when we're more in duality. We get into oneness more, like attracts like, and we don't need someone to balance us out. So look at the qualities or the things that you like. If she dresses well, then maybe that's what your soul's trying to tell you. You need to dress well. If she's got a bit more relaxed, if she's a bit more easygoing, stuff like that, guys. And this is for everybody. Again, look at what you want, and that's usually tells us what we want inside.
Okay, Simone. Should I stay on the path of conventional medicine, brackets losing faith in, or pursue alternative, or do both?
This is John was covering this earlier.
Do both.
It's like,
why can't you do both? Why do you got to do one or the other?
Yeah, there is times in our life, like, so when I was I went through a couple of years, maybe a bit more than that, where I was fucking religiously in alternative medicines. But I'll use both now. I don't have any problem using both anymore. It's like I will always go alternative, because alternative actually mostly means natural. So why wouldn't you go natural first and listen to your body? But sometimes the conventional medicine, it'll do the job.
Yeah.
But listen, whichever way it is, whether it's alternative or conventional, listen to the message. The message is there, right? This is what our whole show is about, mostly.
Mostly, yeah.
It's like, if I've got sort of reflux, which is one of my favorites, I'm not digesting something. I can go and get the conventional medicine, or I can go and take the apple cider vinegar. Either one of them will help, but they're not going to really fix the message. And so if I don't get the message, I'm just going to be stuck on it forever. So don't use either, but use both. But again, I go deeper. You're on this show with us. So this is telling you that you want to go into, this is consciousness medicine.
Yeah.
Forget about alternative medicine and conventional medicine. What about consciousness medicine? What about attitude medicine? This is, attitude body shaping. We can change the shape of our body by changing our attitude. So but yes, the main question you're asking there, Simone, at this stage, as you've been in conventional for so long, I would look a lot more at alternative, because you've already got the knowledge there for conventional, so it's going to bring, where's my hands? It's going to bring them up to balance. Yeah. And so, so look a little bit more towards the alternative, but don't, it's never one or the other, because you're stuck in duality then.
Yep.
Okay.
Karen, do we go to spiritual event shows?
There's none at the moment. They're all locked down. I used to do the Mind, Body, Spirit many years ago. About 20 years ago, I used to do them all over Australia. But no, since we've only been in Melbourne now for nearly 12 months. We're about to move next week, so we will be looking at all of those sort of things again soon. So
Lily, I got the message, which was keep it simple. I'm going to read it out now. I would love your insight towards clearing my neurological pathways to improve my psychic vision and memory. I just heard them say, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. Keep it simple. So first of all, this is what we call, I call it Mr. Know-it-all, right? So this is, so you're telling the universe what you want. First of all, is it good to have that, right? That might be the worst thing in the world for you to work on your psychic. Yeah. You might need to work on your intuition, because psychics, I can tell you, psychics fucking dangerous at times. It's like,
sounds to me you might need to work on the thoughts.
Yeah,
maybe the thoughts are a little bit too intellectualized.
Yeah. So if you're too much head and you're not enough gut or not enough heart, then psychic is really dangerous, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's fraught with sort of so much information, you can get lost in there. So you need to develop your psychic information. The pathways you need to develop are the intuition pathways, are the grounding pathways. So as you are looking at the third eye, as you're clearing that, what you need to do when we do, this is what we do in our Thursday night meditations, focus on the breathing, focus on the grounding. You can't create more pathways up there, and you can't go higher up into spirit without grounding down deeper. Your body, your spirit, your higher self will not let you. So the way to develop more pathways is to ground more, is to listen to the intuition more, because the intuition is going to guide us through that quagmire. And so the more grounding, the deeper the pathways, they're the emotional pathways and the physical body pathways, then the other pathways will develop easily. It doesn't sound like you need to do anything with those particularly. They're being stopped because you're not working on these other things.
Okay, Chi. I have occasional dizziness, slight nausea, also an itchy rash on my right lower skin anterior. It's been there since, right lower shin. It's been there since December when I started a 6-week service at a remote community.
Yeah.
Itchy rash on my right lower skin.
So the dizziness, there could be something to do with electronics here, 5G and stuff. So I don't know if the remote community has a 5G tower, which I would look at that for rushes and stuff like that. So electronics can cause rushes, guys, and it is one thing you need to cover. But the dizziness, often dizziness is a good thing, guys. When our crown chakra opens up, or our third eye opens up and spins, we call it vortexing, and that temporarily can cause some dizziness. When we shift through dimensions, when we shift our awareness up into a higher dimension, we can get a dizziness. So that dizziness can, and I'm not saying in this case it is, but it can often indicate sort of opening up of the third eye, opening up of the crown, shifting our awareness up through the dimensions. the right shin because it's going forward, and the inchiness. The general message is feeling unworthy or inadequate about your physical direction in moving forward. So maybe this working for this remote community and that you're actually you're now actually expanding and maybe you're sort of going higher in sort of recognition of who you are as a community worker, and you're not quite feeling worthy or adequate about that.
Yeah.
So it's get rid of that feeling of unworthy or inadequate about being this person that's working with these people, about your role and how it is important in that for you. So that's the emotional, mental content of it. But also check the Wi-Fi. Check the electronic. If they've got a big 5G tower there, even our phones. I had some rashes and took my phone away out of my bedroom, and they went away after a couple of days. So so it can be as simple as that. So just watch that one, guys.
Kim, hey Kim, first time. Welcome. Can you please tell me why I have tightness in between my shoulder blades and why I can't access my third eye?
You can't access your third eye because you've got a tightness in between your shoulder blades. I'm sorry, you've just answered your own question there. Sorry. No, guys, look, when we laugh, right? When we laugh like this, just so that no one mixes this up, we are not laughing at you. We're laughing at ourselves because these are stuff we just go through. Most of your questions, we go through this ourselves within weeks or months before you've said it. So we're actually laughing because we went through that. Yep. So the tightness in the back of the shoulder blades, there's just too much congestion in your heart chakra or your throat chakra. I'm guessing it's your heart chakra. And because it's between the shoulder blades, it's the back stuff, but it's also the judgments in front of you. So get rid of the judgments, start clearing the heart chakra, and that'll clear the third eye. The blockage in the third eye is not the problem. To look through the third eye, to get the power of our third eye, to really have it, this is what we're saying to the other person. There's got to be a balance. You've got to have some half your awareness in the heart, half your awareness in the gut and the intuition. That's going to give you the strength, because it's fucking scary, guys, to genuinely look through your third eye. It opens up universes. You have no one. I don't even have much of an idea. I've seen bits of what we can see here. What most people call the world is not even beginning to touch it, right? This is the third dimension, like the density, the fourth density, the fifth density, the sixth density, and up to the eighth. There's just so much more here than we see, and most of that opens up through the third eye. But we won't have the courage if we're not clear enough and balanced in our emotions and our navel and our soul, our inner child, and our heart. So that you've got a lot of congestion there. So the tightness between the shoulder blades is that blocking of the back of the heart chakra. So it's clear the past hurts, the past judgments, the past things that you don't want to let go of in the heart chakra.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, because it's the tightness between the shoulders, it's going to be muscles, so it's going to be guilt about the past stuff. So the past stuff relating to the heart.
And then maybe you'll start to see some of the stuff in the future.
Ooh. Again, there doesn't seem to be much. We're not getting nothing on the third eye. The third eye problem is that the heart's blocked. So we need to ground balance into the heart. Then we can have more courage. When I use my third eye, I get a lot of power here first. I get myself grounded here, and then I focus. It feels like, and I don't say this, but it feels like I focus up from the heart and through the third eye. Once I do that, the power and the strength that I've got, it'll open easily. Because you got to go. You got to go and explore. It's like you got to become Christopher Columbus. You're going to sail, and everyone's going to tell you if you open it, you're going to sail off the end of the world. So it's scary like that, right? So we need the heart. We need that one.
Gabby, ouch, that one hit home. I love that. Fucking mad. You're welcome.
And so thanks for pointing that out, Gabby. And this is for everyone. Most of these questions, guys, don't be afraid to ask them, because when I used to run the groups, I would go around and go, "Oh, you got a question?" And they go, "No, I haven't." And then somebody else would go, "I've got a question," and that person goes, "Oh yeah, I have that same question." It's like, and I used to ask questions in the groups myself that weren't even mine, just so the group could get moving again.
Mr. Nodal.
So, okay, I'll ask that question. It's not for me, but it's like somebody doesn't want to ask it, and the group's like stuck. So it's like, okay, I'll ask that one. And
thank you, Amber, for lovely comments.
So and because this is an inner journey, guy, there's 9 tools that we teach, right? And there's 12 basic tools that I believe cover everything spiritually that we need to do, and they're the same. They're just very simple. they're in all religions. They're just, but each tool, the first tool is like, if it feels light, it's right. The truth will set you free. That's in every religion, a different form of it. But it'll look different, it'll sound different in every religion or every serious spiritual pursuit. So these 9 basics, this is what we're kind of teaching you, the basic thing, and then we can interpret that. Each tool, you can have a hammer, but you've got 50 different types of hammer. You can have a saw, but there's 50 different types of saws. So we're just teaching you the base tools here. Okay.
I was just reading through some comments. Okay, this is a good example of working with a message in the body. Isabella, felt my right ribs intense pain, almost cracked, passed quickly. Very good.
Yes, there you go. So that's exactly what we're talking about. So it can really, like, as I said, when I cleared some of the judgments out of my heart the other day, fucking felt like because it was a sternum bone, it was a solid bone, I knew it felt like the bone was twisting, right? And that pressure stayed there because I cleared so much so quickly. Stayed there for about 20 minutes, and it was quite sore, like I'd had a bloody knuckle massage or something. And so this is how much the body stores these emotions and stores these thoughts. It's like, it caught me by surprise. I do this a lot. I didn't realize that the heart stores most of the judgments. I was thinking I'm getting stored up here or somewhere else. It's like it caught me right off guard that the heart was stored so much of the judgments. And my heart was so full that I overloaded into the other chakras as well.
Entanglement.
Had to put the overload somewhere other places.
Denny, I have a popping in my left ear like Morse code.
Yeah, generally speaking, that's because you're opening up, but you're only opening up a little bit. The popping and the continual, it's kind of like there's some resistance there. So by trying to question what it is, by trying to go, oh, what's that? You kind of block it from happening. So when the messages come through, especially when it's sort of stuff we need to hear, some of the shit that goes on in my ears, as it opens up, it's like, wow, it's like there'll be a foghorn or a fucking like a piercing sound or whatever. But if I don't resist it, that'll go for a minute. It can get worse, like for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And it's just like, then there's just this clarity afterwards. So the popping and the continuous you're getting it, but there's some sort of resistance there. And then I'm not saying the conscious resistance, just by questioning it. So if you say, is that a message and do I need to open more up to it? Is this me opening up more? And how do I open up more? Just say that while it's happening and see what happens then.
But 3 people ask about tinnitus.
Yeah, well, this is the same thing. Same. It's like the tinnitus is generally, it's a reaction. So as the body heals, as it goes through this stuff, some of the tinnitus is kind of the negative side, but it's only partially negative. It's negative because, so the jaw's pushing on the ears and it's causing sort of a disruption in the canal and stuff like that, but it's still a message. The tinnitus is the opening up. So if we open up to our higher self, to our inner being, to our higher self and our soul and our heart all at once, this shift and this craziness happens in the body, right? And if we don't resist it, if we say it as that, we just go, okay, let it happen more, that's fucking weird, okay, breathe deep. And that can open it up and it can really transition it. And the ringing, I got some of the ones I had on the weekend are all different. Like there was I had some new buzzers and bells and whistles that I've never had before. Right? So I used to be used to the foghorn and the really loud fucking high pitched piercing, but yeah, I've got some new ones this week. But as you release and go, okay, I'm receiving the message. I don't know what it is, but I'm willing to. It can pass really quickly, and it's just it's basically a matter of our bodies adjusting to higher frequencies, guys. That's a simple basic explanation. Is we're becoming fourth density beings from third density beings, and we've got to be upgraded. It's like being upgraded from 240 volts to 2,400 volts. So we've got to be upgraded. The body's got to be upgraded to receive these higher frequencies and that from our soul. So we're not so dense anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, and some of it is quite a fucking adjustment. Some of it's quite mechanical. Most of it and a lot of it is quite gentle and loving, and it's just but sometimes quite a sudden adjustment in certain areas.
All right. Natasha, I was Spirit told me to go down. Natasha, right foot cramping at night. What does that symbolize?
Again, right foot, the cramping is generally stuff releasing. So there's guilt and the guilt, guys, a lot of the cramping stuff, and especially at night and that, which I found just recently, a lot of it's got to do with the soul. So it's got to do with more than just this life. I know this is hard for some people to swallow, But the past lives with the soul a lot of the issues that come up in this life can come up in the other life. So the cramping is something trying to release. So I had a calf cramp that I've used to get on and off since I was a bloody kid, and I finally didn't resist it the other night, about a week or so ago, and the cramp came up and the muscle in the calf twisted around, and I was like, oh, don't resist it. And then it came up past the calf, up the hamstring, across the butt muscle, up the back muscle to the neck. I was like, that can't happen. They're all separate muscles. It's like a single cramp ran all the way up and released. And so it's pulling up stuff from the foot. It's trying to pull up stuff from the foot to release. But we freak out because we don't want to get that real bad cramp. And, I used to be a terrible with cramp, so I know this one well. If we can catch it in the moment and say, is that something releasing? Is that my soul? Is that my higher self pulling something out? And let it go. And it's a bit freaky and breathe. It can pull up.
I don't know how many more messages I need of that tonight. I've got this thing that wants to come out this side of my face, and I'm like, I'm fucking done on this show. I need to go lie down. It's fucking killing me. Well, just remain calm. Just remain calm. Just remain focused.
And and because it's coming up from the foot, it's
I get it.
Because the cramps in the foot, it's a real base thing here. So whichever foot it is, left or right, it's about your direction, and it's about if you're a bit flat-footed. It's also about not worrying so much. So flat feet, anything that's, prolapsed disc, I forgot this before, the pressure in the disc with that other person earlier on, anything where the skin is sagging, flat feet, this is all stomach and spleen meridian. So this is what happens. We lose the ability, the body loses that health in the 5 major meridians from overthinking, worrying too much. So if it is a flat foot involved as well, it's trying to release all this worry that you've stored in your body. So that's the other part of that, if it's affecting the flat foot, which it feels like it's coming from that inner part. So there's anything that drops down, anything that's like, if you have saggy skin, prolapsed discs, flat feet, all sorts of things like that relate to stomach and spleen, and that's not holding things up. So we want that. The thing that depletes the stomach and spleen mostly is over worrying or overthinking. So, okay. So we're nearly up, guys. Remember, we've got our Thursday night meditation for anyone who wants to do that.
Yep.
Live online. Check our BQuest page out. We've got the links at the top. We had some quite interesting meditations. All the previous ones are there too. And there's the links just being put on there now.
The Facebook page.
Links to our Facebook page, and check out our Thursday night. They're all free at the moment, so we do them live online. All right, so what do we got here? Wheezing chest only at night. Okay. Any particular message? Generally speaking, that at night we have the 3 nervous systems. We've got the central nervous system, the parasympathetic, and the sympathetic. So usually at night we're going into the sympathetic, the rest and digest, which will bring up our feminine, our deeper stuff. And so the wheezing it's generally when it comes up at night, it's an indication that there's grief in that on a deeper level, on the spiritual level, on the soul level. So it's trying to release all that. It's difficult. It's like I don't know how to explain it any more than that, because a lot of that grief can come from past lives, can come from all sorts of things. But it's a really kind of deep grief. That's the wheezing and not breathing in, and a lot of the soul stuff comes up for us at night when we rest and get into the deeper spiritual part. So I can't really go any further than that with that one. And we'll just leave that one there. Apparently. Enough said.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one up here that jumped out of me. Alison, what about something like a dislocating shoulder for no reason?
It's not no reason. Dislocating, are you dislocating? First of all, look at what shoulder it was. If it's right or left, you're dislocating. You're not paying attention. So first of all, you got a bit of resentment in there because of the bone stuff. You got a bit of control issues because of the ligaments. But it's like, what are you dislocating from? Your arms, guys, represent your daily habits and your daily actions. So things like brushing your teeth and cleanliness, things like prayer, rituals that we do every day. So if it's left side, it's spiritual. If it's right side, it's physical. So going to the gym, going for a walk. Right, but it's also male. So it's right side. So you're dislocating, you're popping out. You're not following what you need to do for you on a regular daily basis. And it's really up in the shoulder. It's really sort of some deeper stuff there. And that, again, that's very general, guys. we'd have to ask you some more questions and really sort of start to get into that to get deeper to it. But it's a very interesting one for no reason. It's yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We see you Thursday or next Monday, whichever one you like. We'll catch you then. Bye for now.
Bye.